So this is a 2002 Miata engine. This is the rear cam seal cap. Engine's out of the car. You can replace this with it in the car. It's just a lot easier to show you what this looks like with the engine out while I'm doing a bunch of other maintenance. The replacement, I got an OEM piece from rspeed.net, and when you buy it, they have a little description saying they recommend to not loosen the cap on top and just pop it out. So I'm gonna try to remove that one that way, see what kind of features are inside of it, and see if I feel sketchy or not to push this one in there, if it's okay to do that or not to seal, or if the better method is to release these and figure out if something needs RTV or not to prevent it from leaking in the future. So it's looking to me like all we really need to do here is remove this one 12mm head bolt. There's a 10mm down here that just secures this other sensor to it, but this is like a grounding bolt as well, it looks like. So if we pop that off, it looks like this tab's bent over to prevent rotation, so that's how they get away with just one bolt securing this. So once we pop that out, we should be able to get like a little flathead screwdriver in here and pop this out and see what it looks like inside. All right, so just like that. You know, I do have a little bit of oil underneath it, so this wasn't the main source of my oil leak. I think just about every single seal on this engine leaks. It's got 168,000 miles on it, but definitely a little oil underneath this, so it's probably weeping a little bit. 20 years old, so 21 years old actually, so it's probably a good idea to change this. All right, so let's give this a shot. Comes out pretty easily. I'm not fighting it at all. And maybe this rubber has shrunk and gotten brittle and hard over the years, so that's why you have this leaking. So yeah, if you look in there, I don't see a need to take the cam cap up. It might be split, but it's so precision machined that I don't think that's what's going to cause your leak. I think just popping this out and then looking in there, this is all flat. I thought there would be like a recessed groove in here, but it's not a recessed groove. It's all flat, so that just tells me that pushing and pulling these seals out and in isn't going to damage them really. You have a little bit of a chamfer on the front here to get the seal started, so you're not going to cut it or anything. So yeah, I would recommend doing what they say on the website, not messing with these caps. You're going to have a bigger problem if you do. Of course, you don't have to have your valve cover off. I have my valve cover off. I'm doing a million other things to this engine, maintenance-wise. So, but yeah, that's what it looks like on the inside there. I'm going to wipe this all clean and just not even use RTV or anything. I'm just going to push the new one in there and call it a day. So here's a better look at it with the seal out. It's all a smooth, flat surface here. So, like I said, no groove for it to like pop and lock into. It's just a compression fit, and you'll see the side of this gasket here. It's got like a lead in and then a step up in the middle for the diameter, and then it shrinks at the end. So it must have this thicker section in the middle is supposed to compress, and just the friction of that is what's going to keep it in there from popping out. And then you got the bar behind it, which doesn't even touch it. When you install this bar back, it doesn't even touch the seal. So the seal could back out a little bit before it hit the bar and possibly pop out the top because it only covers the bottom, but you actually don't even need to put any lube. I left it dry and I just gave it a little try and pushed it about a quarter of the way in, and there wasn't any kind of signs of it slicing the edge. This does have a nice lead-in chamfer that's smooth, so you just kind of go in there and push on it by hand. So to get the final little bit last seated, I couldn't push it all the way in by hand. I just had a 32mm socket, kind of fit over there pretty good, and I just tapped it in with a rubber mallet. So now the edge is all sealed up and flush to the backside. Just a quick look at the old one, see what they look like after 20 years. You can see it's got a little bit of cracking and visible in the rubber on the front. It has nothing to do with the sealing surface, but if you look at the side, it's really not a huge difference, but it definitely doesn't have that diameter protruding up like the new one does. But yeah, it's like under $15, rspeed.net, link in the description. So if you have a leak on the rear of your engine, this is probably one of the simplest things to try and replace to stop it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.